everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. I hope your New Year's Eve was fun and exciting and safe. Hopefully you didn't do too much partying. But if you're hungover just watching YouTube videos, thank you for choosing mine. I was debating like what kind of video I wanted to do for the first video of the new year and if I would have a New Year's Day video kind of thing. And I was just kind of racking my brain. I was like, I got a couple ideas, but none like felt like perfect for like New Year's. And then I don't know why it didn't dawn on me before to do this, but I was like, wait a second. It's a video game channel. A lot of video games coming out in 2025. So I was just kind of going back over like announcements and things like that. And I was like, and I may have missed some, but I think I got most of the heavy hitters. But I was like, I'll do my most anticipated video games of 2025. Wow, we are in the year of our Lord, 2025. That's insanity, because I still remember the whole Y2K scare in 1999, and it doesn't feel like 25 years ago. But yeah, so just kind of going through, just searching online, going through announcements and things like that, and trusted pad of paper here that I did my lists on, didn't type it up so I can have it, so I can just stare at the camera the entire time. Nope, I'm going to have to look down every once in a while for my list. But these are some of my most anticipated games of 2025. Your mileage may vary, and they're in no particular order. Like, this isn't a countdown where, oh, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, kind of thing like that. No. It's nothing like that. It's just games that I'm excited for that have been announced, and I believe all have some sort of 2025 release date. Not all of them are concrete, and I'm not even going to list the release dates. These are just games I'm excited for coming out. But the first thing I'm excited for is the Switch 2, the Switch sequel, Super Switch, whatever Nintendo's going to call it. I think it's kind of all been decided. It's going to be, with all the leaks and everything like that, it will be called the Switch 2, which for some reason people are upset about, but PlayStation literally has been doing that now for 5 generations, and it's made sense. Like, calling it Switch 1, Switch 2, you keep the same branding. Now I do kind of like Nintendo's naming structure, where with the exception of the Wii U, all the consoles basically, and I guess Super Nintendo too, all the consoles kind of have different name. We have the Nintendo Entertainment System, Famicom in Japan, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, then we have the Nintendo 64, then we have the GameCube, then we have the Wii, and like I said, Wii U, and then we had the Switch. I kind of like their naming convention, but in this modern era of marketing and synergy where you see like all the brand names kind of being the same, like their logos and things like that, it makes sense to call it the Switch 2. But obviously I'm a big Nintendo fan. I am the Nintendo after all, and you see all that behind me. And that's not even like all my Nintendo shit. The Japanese carts are now over there off camera and stuff like that. Super Nintendo stuff's over there. So there's a lot of Nintendo shit in my room. But no, I'm excited for that system, obviously. I do like that it's backwards compatible, so I can focus on just having the one system kind of thing, instead of, I'll still keep my Switch because I still have all of Nintendo's other consoles kind of as display pieces. Like, I'll probably just put the Switch on its dock, and it'll be with my Famicom, my Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Dreamcast, GameCube, 64, all that stuff. Maybe it'll go back there on display if I never use it again. Haven't really decided. Maybe, I mean, Sean doesn't really play the Switch, so, I mean, I could just give it to him, but he's a PC gamer, so I don't know. But anyways, I'm super excited for that. By all accounts, it's going to have a bigger screen, which is awesome. I've heard conflicting reports about an OLED. OLED would be nice, I'm not going to lie. But the bigger screen on my Legion Go right here, no controllers attached to it right now because I was using my Xbox controller with it the other night. It's not an OLED, but with that bigger screen, it's one of the nicer screens for the handhelds. So if it keeps costs down, like if it's not astronomically overpriced, I can live without an OLED. I know a lot of people can't, but I can. But no, super excited for that. And so there'll probably be a lot of more games that would be on this list if they officially announced the Nintendo Switch 2, along with whatever launch window games are coming out for that, which one has got to expect a Mario or Zelda game to launch with it. Probably Mario, since like we last had Odyssey 7 years ago. We haven't had a true 3D Mario sequel yet, and we've had a sequel to Breath of the Wild. So I would imagine the sequel to Mario Odyssey will probably be a launch game for the Switch 2. And while we're on non-confirmed 2025 releases, the aforementioned, constantly rumored Wind Waker HD Switch port and Twilight Princess HD Switch port, whether they come as a 2-pack, which was the original rumor, or separate. I'm still holding out hope that those come out because, again, I've mentioned this on the pod before. I'm kind of like waiting to replay Wind Waker because I want to play it again, but I'm kind of waiting for that announcement because I would like to play it with the modern conveniences of just turning the console off, turning it back on, being right where I left off, and things like that, being able to save anytime. Also, updated graphics, being able to play it handheld instead of stuck at the TV playing, kind of things like that. So I've been holding off on playing it. So I feel this might be the year. I think, we're not going to get a new Zelda game coming out. So having, an HD remaster come out for the Switch or Switch 2, given probably make more sense with the Switch. But have that extra software there for the Switch 2, I think would be smart because then you have a Zelda game in that launch window. So the 2-pack with Twilight Princess would be Chef's Kiss. But I really want to play Wind Waker again. So just having that alone will be fine because I'm sure they're both ready to go just whenever Nintendo decides to release. All right, so that's the hypothetical shit. Let's get to the real stuff. The Lunar remaster games, those were announced. Those are coming out this year. I never played those when they were originally on the Sega CD or the PlayStation. I always kind of admired them from the far, like the anime cutscenes, the artwork on the the jewel cases and things like that. I always thought they were so cool, but I didn't have a PlayStation at the time because I just didn't have a PlayStation. I'm a Nintendo 64 kid, so I never got around to playing them. And by the time I was like, oh, I'll go back and play them, they're stupidly priced. I think they're like $90 to $100 each. So it's like, I don't have an attachment to that. And if I'm not doing a complete collection or an attachment to a game, I'm not paying that much for a game. So the remasters are definitely a welcome. It probably won't be like a launch pickup for me, but I probably will, like sale price, probably grab them and play them. I really should have wrote what these things are coming out on because I think this is coming out on the Switch, on the PlayStation, on the Xbox. Definitely PlayStation. I think definitely Switch. And like any RPG these days, I'm going to get it on the Switch. So I have the option of playing it on my TV or I can play it on the go. I do have the PlayStation Portable, but I almost never use that. Like I just don't know what it is about my PlayStation. I just never, unless it's like an exclusive, I never feel the need to play it. I can't explain it. But yeah, the Lunar remaster. So it's Lunar 1 and 2. I think it's coming on one disc. Yeah, one cart. So that's going to be cool. Speaking of remaster, remake of a classic PlayStation RPG, the Suikoden 1 and 2 are being released for the Switch and the PlayStation. Definitely going to get this. I'm definitely getting this one. I played the first Suikoden. I never beat it. My buddy Mike loaned it to me back when we were in high school. This was after I'd gotten a PS2, so I could actually play PlayStation games. And I really liked it. Just did not, between working, playing high school baseball and all that stuff, just did not have the time to complete it. So I'm looking forward to diving back into Suikoden and playing the first two games, especially on the Switch, because again, I can play it on the go and things like that. Wow, this is like the year of remakes, because the third game I have on this list is the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. If you watched the Nintendo Switch Direct, or the Nintendo Direct reaction that I did, of course I got excited when this got announced, because I was like just hoping for Power Stone 1 or 2 to get re-released either standalone on like the online stores or in a collection like that. I love the Power Stone games. That's why I'm getting this collection. Like the Capcom vs. SNK games are cool, but to me, kind of like that era of Capcom fighters, the fighters were all kind of the same. It was like, what flavor of fighter do you want? Do you want Street Fighter 3? Do you want Street Fighter versus, or you want the Capcom fighters versus Marvel fighters? Do you want Capcom versus SNK? It was just kind of like, which flavor of fighter do you want to play? And for me, as far as the 2D fighters go, it was always Marvel versus Capcom kind of thing. So SNK versus Capcom, awesome game. I did enjoy it on the Dreamcast back in the day, but I'm really excited for the Power Stone games. I'm so excited to have those because I've been thinking about importing Power Stone because it's still not cheap, but it's cheaper if you buy the Japanese version. But because I'm not touching the American Dreamcast versions, those are just stupid expensive, especially Power Stone 2. So it was one of those things. It's like, come on, re-release it, and they're finally re-releasing it. I'm probably gonna get that on the Switch also. Though I shouldn't say I regret getting Marvel vs. Capcom on the Switch, but definitely don't like playing that game in handheld. The Joy Cons are not meant for fighting games, so I play that one on the TV and things like that. Which I still might get it like on sale. It's been like $35. I've got it sealed for the Nintendo, and I bought it digitally. But I still might get Marvel vs. Capcom collection on the PlayStation 2 just to have the complete collection. But yeah, so Capcom Fighting Collection 2, I'm just going to buy the one, probably Switch, just so I have the option to play it on the go, but also play it on my TV and stuff like that. And again, like I said, I don't play my PlayStation that much. Don't come at me, PlayStation haters. It's more of a UI preference. I don't do the console war thing because I've got all three systems, and now I even have a handheld PC, so I don't get involved in those squabbles. Xbox is my go-to as far as the more powerful systems because of Game Pass. It's just a great value, and I have a PlayStation 4 exclusives, and I rarely ever buy non-exclusives on the PlayStation. The only like exemption to that rule, looking over at my PlayStation games, is Like a Dragon Ishin, sorry, not Ichin. Ishin, because I could not find that physically on the Xbox. Like, it was always sold out. So I got that on the PlayStation 5. And then the Metal Gear Solid collection, just because when I was like looking up reviews of it, for whatever reason, the PlayStation version runs better at a higher frame rate than the Xbox version. So I was like, oh, I'll get the better running version of it. And with the exception of Metal Gear Solid 5, all my physical copies of Metal Gear Solid games are PlayStation. So it just kind of fits the aesthetic of my Metal Gear collection. Though I do have the Phantom Pain digitally, the complete edition, whatever that one was. I do have that on my PlayStation because last year during their Black Friday sale, I think it was like $3 or $4. I was like, yeah, I want to play that game again, and the definitive edition for that cheap, I'll do that and start from scratch. But yeah, Capcom Fighting Collection. So I'm going to skip one real quick because I'm talking about Metal Gear, so might as well go with maybe everyone's most anticipated game of 2020. Oh, second most anticipated. We'll get to probably the most anticipated soon. But Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is a remake, not remaster, of Metal Gear Solid 3. That it just looks awesome. And I feel if they just stick to the story and the game runs well, it should be great. Like, it's already a great game. So and I think it's running on the Fox engine, which is what was developed for the Phantom Pain. So it's running on that modern Metal Gear engine, so it should be fine. Like, it doesn't seem like they're changing anything to the game. They're just updating it with modern graphics and the modern engine. So, I mean, that game's probably going to be a 10 out of 10. I'm excited for that game. Can't wait to get it and add it to my Metal Gear collection. Much like the Phantom Pain, though, it will probably be an Xbox purchase. Though using that DualSense for a Metal Gear game might be cool. But I don't know. As much as I like the DualSense controller, like, this controller is pretty awesome, I like the layout of this better. I like the off-centered thumbsticks instead of the thumbsticks right there. It's just, again, personal preference. Not saying one's better than the other. I do love the force feedback on the triggers, though. That's fantastic. I hope like Xbox incorporates that in their next controller, and that'd be awesome if like there's a Switch 2 Pro controller, like the Switch Pro controller. This is actually my favorite controller, but if they did do that for the next Switch 2 Pro controller, that would be pretty cool too. But yeah, I'll probably end up getting that on on the Xbox, and maybe if it goes cheap, just so I still have the aesthetically all PlayStation for this Metal Gear display I got going with all. I actually own all the Metal Gear games physically now, except for Metal Gear 2, Snake's Revenge on Nintendo. I don't own that one yet. But yeah, so I'll have that over the Metal Gear display that I've got going because it's one of my all-time favorite series. So the one I skipped over, Ghost of Yotai. I'm excited for that. It's I know a lot of people are kind of like, it's a female protagonist, and wary because of a Sucker Punch group picture that was taken with people who have hair color and looks that a lot of gamers don't like. But I'm not gonna judge a game maker based on how they look, because again, like I said in my Indiana Jones thing, like that one video was pointing out how the guy had different color hair and a rainbow Bethesda t-shirt. It was like, this is the guy making Indiana Jones games, and Indiana Jones was fantastic. So just because someone identifies or what have you as something that you don't necessarily agree with doesn't mean they make bad games. And just because Ghost of Tsushima was such a great game, I think that was the second game I ever platinumed on my PlayStation 4. First one was Spider-Man. Yeah, that's right. Ghost of Tsushima came out after that. I had to think, I was like, which came out first? So I'm going to hold out hope that it's still going to be a good game. And I think I've said this before. I might get rid of my PlayStation 5. I haven't decided. So I might wait on Ghost of Yotai and get it for PC because I do plan on building a really nice gaming PC. That's still up in the air though. So we'll see. I might get Ghost of Yotai upon PlayStation 5 release, or it might be something I wait for it to come out on the PC and get it for a gaming PC. But either way, I'm excited for that game and I can't wait to play it, whether it's on the PlayStation or PC. It's still, in my opinion, going to be an awesome game, and I'm excited for it. All right, now we got. I'll do the probably most anticipated game of 2025, and that's if it comes out in 2025. It's scheduled for 2025, but I feel it's going to get pushed back to 2026, and that is GTA 6. I'm excited for it, but not as excited like everybody else, because with every GTA release since 3, it's one of those games that I buy, I start with the story missions, and then I get sidetracked just going nuts in the open world, and after I get bored of doing that, I don't pick the game back up. I've never beaten a GTA game. I've like 100%ed the Red Dead Redemption games. And Red Dead Redemption is basically GTA, but in the Old West. I don't know why I can focus on beating those games, but the GTA games, I go off the rails. I have no idea why I do that. I think the maps are bigger in GTA, so it's easier to get just like lost in that world kind of thing, but I'm excited for it. But it's one of those games I'm not that excited for it because I know exactly how I'm going to play it. I'm going to buy it, whether it's on launch or a little bit down the road. I'm going to start playing it, and then I'm going to get sidetracked, and I'm just going to do off-the-world stuff in the open world, and then I'm probably never going to play it again. That's just how GTA games go with me. So it's going to be a fun game, but if I was ranking these, it would be lower on my ranked list of what I'm super excited for. But a game that I am just frothing at the mouth to play, and I cannot wait for it to come out, and it's gonna be day one Game Pass, and that's Doom: The Dark Ages. God, that game, well, just because Doom Eternal was so fantastic, Doom: The Dark Ages I was just gonna be excited over regardless. But then you get laser sword, you get a shield that's a chainsaw, and you get a laser dragon, and you get a gun that shoots skull shrapnel. Just all awesome Doom-like things in like a medieval setting. Plus he's got a cape. I don't know what else you would want from a Doom game other than that. So I'm excited for Doom Dark Ages. I'm also kind of excited to see where the story takes us, because I know Doom's not really about the story, though they did kind of set up a narrative with 2016 and it continued into Doom Eternal. So I am kind of excited to see where that story takes us with Dark Ages, and just kind of see that lore kind of evolve, because it's all new like Doom lore and it's all really cool to me. So just kind of a fun thing to go. And then actually we're going to stick with two more before I get to this other one. I'm just going to make a note there. Two more ones coming out, and I'll say them together because they're by the same studios. Outer World 2 and Avowed. I'm excited for that. I know there's been not a lot, but some controversy with the art director with Avowed, and I'm not going to speak to that. It is what it is. I really wish people in entertainment would stop making things very political. It's just, entertainment's our escape from that kind of shit. Like, I play video games not to take part in identity politics. I do it to get away from identity politics. Like I've said before in this podcast, I work in politics. I don't want my entertainment to be about politics. Like, I don't watch political dramas for that reason. Like, I'm sure a lot of, like, something like The West Wing and whatever that one with Kevin Spacey, I can't remember what it was called, House of Cards. I'm sure they're great. I don't watch them because I deal with the real world stuff on that. So it's one of those things. It's like, it's not for me. So I don't like it being force fed into my video games. So hopefully that's not the case in Avowed. Again, it's one of those games. It's day one Game Pass. So because I've liked, and I mentioned the Outer Worlds too because I really like New Vegas and the Outer Worlds. I'm gonna play it day one anyways because it doesn't cost me anything, or at least anything more than my subscription price. So definitely gonna check it out, and I have high hopes for it because again, Obsidian has made great games. So I hope that continues, and of course Outer Worlds 2 when that got announced. I think it was the Game Awards that got announced. Super excited for that, and the fact that that's coming out in 2025 is really exciting. That Obsidian shipping 2 games in the same year, so excited for both those games. Yeah, and so we only got a couple more games left to go. Just touching on a couple. Death Stranding 2 is supposed to come out for the PlayStation 5. I don't know if that's going to be an exclusive anymore because Death Stranding, the director's cut, just got released on the Xbox, and I didn't really delve deep into it, but supposedly, like, now the license is completely owned by Kojima because it was co-published by Kojima Games or Productions and Sony. So I don't know. I think Death Stranding 2 is still a PlayStation exclusive, or at least a timed exclusive. But I platinumed that game as well. That was one of those games that's like came out the right time during COVID and just not a lot to do. Kind of like how Animal Crossing became so big. Well, in my downtime when I was like bored out of my mind, I would deliver packages in Death Stranding. I actually found it very soothing and calming. So I wonder if the sequel will still have the same effect on me since, the world is opened back up and I now have a toddler. I did not have a toddler then. So it's a different world now. So I just wonder if I'll have the same dedication to that game that I did the first go round. So we'll see. And we'll see if it's on Xbox. I'll probably get it on Xbox. Sorry, PlayStation people. Actually, you know what? I might get on the PlayStation because I wonder if they'll do something with like your save data, like stuff you earned in the first one, if it carries over. So if stuff carries over, I'll probably get on the PlayStation 5. Next up is another remake, and that's Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. This one I never played back in the day. I did play the Episode 1 game and also Episode 3. Was there an Episode 2 game? I don't know. I never played that, but I played the Episode 1 game on the PlayStation, and Jedi Power Battles is a remake of a PlayStation game, and then I played Revenge of the Sith on the PS2 or Xbox, one of the two. But no, this game looks really cool, and I've never played the original, and a lot of people are excited for it, and it'll be kind of fun to play around as like Obi-Wan and Mace, and I think Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon is in that game too, so it'll be a fun game to check out. Not a game I'd probably pay full price for. We'll see if it gets any discounts or anything like that, and then I'll probably pick it up. But, always get like a cool old Lucas era Star Wars game coming out, and not the Disney Star Wars, because we know how a lot of us feel about Disney Star Wars. I think most of it's been bad. Some good. Most bad, though. But yeah. And we're going to round out this list with 2 Switch games coming out. First one's coming out this month, and that's Donkey Kong Country Returns. I know a lot of people are not happy about that price point, considering you could probably still get a Wii U copy of that game, probably under $20, kind of thing like that. I think that's going to be like a full release $50 or $60 game. I'm excited for it, but I'm not excited to pay $60 for it. That's probably a game when we get like a holiday sale where it goes down to $40. I'll probably nab it for $40, kind of thing like that. But I mean, 2D Donkey Kong Country games are always fun. Tropical Freeze I loved. I did not play. Actually, they did do the Didn't they do an HD on the Wii U? Because I'm sorry, Donkey Kong Country Returns was a Wii game, and I think they re-released on the Wii U. But even so, if you still have a Wii U, you can buy the Wii game, play it on your Wii U for a lot cheaper. Kind of thing. You just don't have the handheld mode. But yeah, the Donkey Kong Country games have always been fun. I've liked them since the Super Nintendo, and obviously this is on New Year's Day. So if you're watching this and you watched my stream last night, we were playing Donkey Kong Country as like the 30th anniversary of me getting that game and then originally beating it that New Year's Eve when I got it. So we're gonna the stream as I record this. The stream is starting tonight. I have not started the stream, but if you're watching this now and you watch the stream, thank you for watching the stream as well. It's so weird doing that when you record something and then you're doing something live before the recording comes out, so you have to try to act like the recording never happened, but it hasn't happened yet. Wrestling does it all the time. It's so amazing. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, not a full price game for me, so I don't think I'll be getting it in January, but I'll probably be getting it at some point in 2025. I almost said 4. And the last game we're going to talk about, probably with the exception of GTA 6, probably the most long-awaited game on this list, and that is Metroid Prime 4. That game was announced. Was it announced the first year of the Switch? It was announced a long time ago. So long ago, I was not married. I did not have a baby, nor did I live in Richmond. I was living in Northern Virginia. So it's one of those things, like, so much in my life has changed since that game was announced and I pre-ordered it and it was supposed to come out. So that pre-order has obviously been canceled by, I think it's been canceled by Best Buy. It'd be so cool if it wasn't, because they had that game rewards program where you got 20% off new games. Kind of thing like that. So that'd be so great if that was still a thing. And then release date, the game just shows up on my doorstep, and I only paid like $40 for it instead of 60 or 70, whatever Nintendo's going to charge. But I think Best Buy canceled that pre-order a long time ago. So yeah, that is the my most anticipated games of 2025. Let me know what yours are. Is it some of these on this list? It's something I didn't cover. Maybe I missed something, because like I said, I didn't scour the internet. I went back through some announcements, and I checked out a couple web pages to put together this list, but I could have missed something cool that I would be highly anticipating if I had seen it or remembered it. So I could have forgotten something. So let me know what your most anticipated games are down below. And if there are ones from this list, tell me which ones are you're most excited for. That'd be cool to hear from everybody. But otherwise, again, Happy New Year. Thanks for checking out the video. And again, if you were on the stream last night, thanks for checking that out too. I assume it was a lot of fun. Who knows? It could have been a disaster. But let's assume that it was a ton of fun. So thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video if you wouldn't mind. Helping the channel grow. We are close to 3. As of recording this, we're not at the new year yet. We're 9 away from 350. So hopefully for the new year, we're celebrating 350 subscribers. So fingers crossed. Let's hope 2025 is another big year for the channel. So thank you guys, and have a great new year. Bye.